One thing that I didn't talk about as much as I would have liked to when looking at the trailer for Arc 2 was the paintings in the background of the logo. I also want to include the paintings in the cave in the original teaser for the Game Awards. I like the theme of using these paintings to tell the story. It was seen in the original teaser for Arc 2 and the series, and now here. First, I want to talk about the lighting. The main source of the lighting seems to be coming from the logo in the middle, as well as Helena. The darkest parts are on the sides of the image, outside of the circle. On top is a painting of the scene that was shown previously, and it is one of the few parts that is not just brown and gray. Aside from that, many of the illustrations seem to represent past events in the story. In the circle, there are many creatures, but it's difficult to tell what some of them are. There's a town with some buildings, walls, and a bunch of people. There's also a group of people riding dinosaurs. At first I thought they were parasaurs, but looking closer I can see what appears to be feathers on the head and the tail. I think they're raptors? Next to them is a brontosaurus with what appears to be a platform saddle, 3 pterosaurs, 2 smaller ones which are probably pteranodons, and a larger one, probably a quetzal. There are 2 large theropod dinosaurs, maybe the Rex, maybe Allosaurus, I don't know. On the other side there's what looks to be a battle. There's a dinosaur in a dramatic pose, maybe another Rex, and then a Stegosaurus and an Ankylosaurus, along with many people and a few houses. There's another pteranodon, and then this dinosaur. I'm not sure what it is. It has horns, so it could be Carnotaurus, although the locations of the horns are different. It does have horns, and the arms seem smaller. It could also be an Allosaurus. There are a few houses in what might be a parasaur. This looks like a dodo to me, but it's hard to tell, and it really could be anything else as well. I think this is one of the most interesting parts, as it doesn't match with the rest of the scene. The rest I assumed represented the island, dinosaurs and people fighting each other. Then, there's also the ship from Genesis. There are a few people, whether they are part of the dinosaur and town scenes, or related to the Genesis portion of the image, I cannot tell. There is a planet, I'd assume, with some stars. I was trying to figure out if this was Earth or not, but I think it is the end of the Genesis 2 cutscene, because it looks like the ship is breaking. And the art style of all this reminds me a lot of John's notes. And lastly, there is an image of Helena, probably after she ascended and became the one who waits. She is brighter than the rest of the characters, and there are also some symbols. Maybe they're just random shapes, I cannot tell. One looks like HLNA though, and another looks like it could be an arc. Whether this is just another image telling the story of what happened or hinting at the return of Helena, I don't know. I'm not even sure who canonically painted this, and I don't know what character could have all of these memories. Maybe Santiago, if this version of him has all the memories of the others, including Extinction, Aberration, and Genesis. And then there are the sides of the image. On the right, the main focus is the mech. Possibly the Mega Mech, since the King Titan is on the other side. But there are also some people. About 4 here, and there were 4 mech pilots initially. But there are also people in the fog and smoke surrounding the mech. And there are 2 pterosaurs. One looks like the typical Arctranodon, the other has a different head shape. On the left, there is the King Titan. And I doubt this means that it will be returning. I just think this is meant to represent the story of Extinction. There's more people, once again, in what seems to represent smoke or fog, maybe element, I don't know. What seems out of place is the person with the Triceratops. It even seems to have some sort of saddle, similar in design to what I thought was a platform saddle on the Bronto. There's another pterosaur? Or some kind of flying creature. I have no idea what it could be. It could just be a darker section of rock. At first it looked like a quetzal. It could also be one of the flying creatures from Extinction, and the paintings in the teaser have similar imagery. People and dinosaurs, some probably fighting, a taller Bronto, massive quetzal, and a Stegosaurus. In the center, HLNA and an obelisk. In the corner there are hands reaching towards the sky, depicted with the implants. Images like this have appeared in the notes before. Someone is riding a Triceratops, and maybe this is Nerva, because this is probably Helena and her parasaur, surrounded by a bluish glow, as well as another person riding a large dinosaur, maybe the Rex, but also it could be the Yutyrannus. It almost looks like it has feathers, so maybe this person is Nerva? Here, there are more hands, reaching towards the sky, and what could be a depiction of maybe one of the spaceship's rings or a galaxy. HLNA appears again. There's more hands on this one with maybe some people as well.